Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Vividly Dark, a podcast where we talk about all things creepy and geeky and everything in between. That's right. So, I am Patrick, and with me, as always, is my lovely and beautiful co-host, Zoe.
Hello.
And today, we have a very special episode. Something new that I have been working on for the past few weeks, really. Yep. And this is something I have been dying to talk about, not just necessarily...
I'm dying to hear it.
Yeah, not just necessarily with you guys, but this is something that I have been so keen on learning. I was going to say obsessed, but it's not quite the word.
I think you've been having fun learning about it, haven't you?
Yeah, I have had so much fun.
And I'm really excited to hear about it.
This is the beginning of a new series for us. So, before this episode, or well, probably a couple episodes before this episode, just depending on when we release this, there is another one where we talked about, well, because it'll already be out, won't really matter, H.H. Holmes. That is a new series as well, and it's going to be something that we call our Red Rum series. For those of you who have never seen the movie The Shining, that's where it comes from. Red Rum, spelled backwards, murder. Anyway, so this series is different. This series is going to be fucking exciting. This series, buckle your fucking seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dark Disney. I am fucking excited to talk about this because I am starting this off with my favorite fucking movie from the Disney classics.
What is it? What are you starting with?
Today, we are going to be talking about no one other than the only Hercules.
Yay!
Or as his
I actually really like Hercules, the movie.
You're going to like him even more. And
him or
him.
it?
Him.
Ooh.
He is him.
I can't wait.
We're going to be calling him by his actual Greek name. I will refer to Hercules at some other points, but his real name is not Hercules.
What is it?
It's actually Heracles.
Heracles?
Yeah.
Because he's a Herrick.
No, I will talk about it.
Okay. You always do this.
Well,
I ask questions and you're like, I'll get there. I'll get there in a minute.
Well, I mean,
I want to know
now.
now.
You want me to tell
I've been waiting for 2 weeks.
Heracles comes from his, I guess you would call her his stepmother, Hera.
Stepmother?
Now, see, I'm not going to ruin that.
I'm now really automatically upset.
So before we get started, we have to, as always, give out the disclaimer. Now, this is based solely on Greek mythology, so everything we talk about is really all opinion and complete hypotheticals, because we don't really know where any of this came from, but we do know that it comes from Greek and Roman mythology. So, the disclaimer for today is that there is instances of absolute brutal death.
Oh my god, really?
Dark Disney.
Okay, I wasn't expecting this.
Anyway,
what was that?
That was the Disney thing.
That did not sound whatsoever like
I don't know.
The Disney thing.
Well, we can't actually do the real Disney thing because we don't have the license for that. Okay. So, here we go. Are you ready to get into it, babe?
I'm past ready.
I am so fucking ready to get into this.
Get
now,
to it.
Let's get into Heracles.
Yay.
And today, we speak of something not previously mentioned before here on our feeble cast of pod. For this tale, we must go back in time. Far back. Further back. Keep going. A bit further. Nope. That's too far. Jesus. No.
Literally?
We're not there either. Yeah, he's not born yet. Back up.
So back further.
Back up. Right there. Stop. That right there. The year is roughly 1286 BC. And a man, nay, a god, was up to his usual mischievous ways. Zeus, the chief god in Greek mythology, is up to no good in order to get some snoo.
What?
Yes. Oh, this has got it all. I love it.
Was it known that Zeus was like that?
Yes, actually. He was a bit of a player.
I don't like players.
He's a big player.
You're going to make me not like Zeus.
Anyway. Zeus was quite known to get what he wanted. Not necessarily out of consent, but rather through deceiving those who he desired.
He's a friggin' god.
Exactly.
Why does he need to do stuff like that?
Because he goes after goddesses. You see...
So disappointed.
There was a Messenian princess that Zeus wanted to bear his child, Alcmene, the granddaughter of Perseus. In order to be allowed into her...
Hang on. Perseus comes into it later, don't they?
At some point, yeah. In order to be allowed into her bed, Zeus would use his divine powers to disguise himself as her husband, who was away at war at the time.
Animals.
Well, yeah. He did not just use his powers and magic to deceive the princess. In fact, he also used them to manipulate time by making the night last for a 3-day period so that he could be sure that he was able to bed the princess and impregnate her with a son.
What? He made one night last for 3 days?
Yeah. He's a god. And on top of that, he was successful. And the son he desired was conceived. Well, you'd hope so
after 3 days.
And the son he desired was conceived. And around the last months of 1286 BC, October time, as mythology would speculate, a boy was born. And his name? Heracles.
But in the Disney movie, the mum and dad are together.
Exactly. This is the true story. This is the dark and twisted inspirations that helped create the magical, colorful children's movies that many, such as us, have grown up with through the past decades. The brutally dark and twisted side to the colorful and vibrant films of Disney. Now, although the movie didn't exactly get it wrong, it was far more brutal and full of blood than the children's movie could have ever portrayed. Heracles, or Hercules, as we've all come to know him, is by far the biggest hero of the Greco-Roman mythological world. And he's also everyone's favorite demigod in the Disney films, unless you like Moana, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's another one that gets really dark. Anyway, now his life, much like it was depicted in the film, was not an easy one. But this wasn't something that started when he was in his teens. From the start, young Hercules was born into a world of blood, madness, and vengeance. Heracles wasn't born the sweet, lovable bundle of joy that we all loved and adored. No. He wasn't the cute, clumsy child with a pet Pegasus.
Aww.
From the start, he was born into the divine scandal we have previously discussed. Zeus wasn't just a player chasing tail. In fact, he was a married man, or god. And when his wife Hera found out about the cheating and the child, she became enraged and full of vengeance.
It's one thing to cheat, isn't it? But why did he want the goddess to have his child?
Because he knew that she could bear a special child that Hera couldn't.
Oh, that's really sad. What an asshole.
Yeah. Sorry, Zeus. You are a dick.
Yeah.
Now, though she didn't aim her anger towards her husband, her rage was turned towards the child. While Hercules was still an infant, Hera would send 2 serpents into his crib to kill the baby.
That did happen in the movie.
Yeah.
So she was actually his wife.
Yeah.
Huh.
But the demigod blood coursing through the baby's veins showed fast. Much faster than the movie. Which I guess you just said. I actually didn't remember that. I forgot. He shakes the snake and he's like... Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, shakes it like a rattle.
Yeah.
But they put poison into his baby bottle, don't they?
When? In the movie? Do they?
Yeah.
Oh god, I haven't watched the movie since the 90s.
So they tried to send a snake to poison him, to bite him, I think. And he just like rattled it like a rattle.
But that was okay. So I remember.
But
that
they
wasn't
actually got him with putting poison in his baby bottle.
Yeah. But it wasn't Hera. It was, what's his name? The purple guy with the flamey blue hair.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They've used him to depict...
Hera, yeah.
Her.
Hades,
that's it.
Yeah. Now, baby Hercules would grab the serpents and choke them. Well, it was one snake.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? So, Hera actually sent 2.
No, it was like a 3... Was it a 3-headed one, or was that something later on?
It was something later on.
Okay.
Baby Hercules would grab the serpents and choke them, to death with his bare hands and unknown strength. The Hera wouldn't stop there. Through pretty much all of his life, Hera would be sure to fill it with torment. You see, Heracles wasn't born with this name. In fact, his original name was Alcides, and it was later changed while he was still a baby to Heracles, which in Greek meant glory of Hera, in order to appease her. It didn't work.
I shouldn't think it did.
No. But the turning point in Heracles' life was when he met his wife, and blood was spilled. In the Disney portrayal of Hercules, we are introduced to Megara, or Meg, as a young woman who has escaped a bad relationship and sold her soul to Hades, the god of the underworld, and is now serving him for eternity. When she is tasked to lure Hercules to fall in love with her in order to find his weaknesses so that Hades could kill him, she inadvertently falls in love with him. And then, as the story goes, she must be saved, and then the two can live happily ever after as husband and wife. This isn't even close to the case of the true story. The truth is far more gruesome than Disney could have ever shown us. Megara was the princess of Thebes, daughter of Creon, who was the king of Thebes. She was not the sassy and sarcastic anti-heroine, who was Hades' little minion, who, by the way, fun fact time, is the brother of Zeus and Poseidon.
That come full circle.
Yeah.
Wow.
But any Greek mythology lover would have already known this. Anyway, Thebes was under attack by the minions, funny enough.
The minions?
Yeah.
What, the little yellow ones?
Yeah. Of Orchomenus. Enter Heracles, who would stand up for the minions and lead a revolt against them. Stand up to the minions and lead a revolt against them, sorry. The revolt would prove successful, and thus Theban pride would be restored. Impressed by the act, King Creon would offer his daughter Megara's hand in marriage to the hero of Thebes. And although the marriage did not start off as two love-struck young adults, more as a reward, the marriage would eventually be far less than unhappy. The pair would eventually have children. According to some sources, they would have 3, or as some sources say more. At some point, I think I read that they had like 20 children. But the
It's a lot of work for a couple that weren't even happy.
They didn't unlike each other. They were attracted to each other. They just didn't know each other.
Right.
But then they got to know each other and they actually did love each other a lot. Regardless, a loving family was established. But as hero stories go, and far from Disney fairy tales, it was not to be forever. Still fully enraged by the thought of Heracles existing, Hera would see this happiness and raise him a devastating hand by using her magic to have a spirit of insanity known as Lyssa to infect the mind of Heracles. During this insanity bestowed upon Heracles, he believed that his wife and his own children were the very enemies he had once revolted against.
I just had a thought. I wonder why we don't have gods anymore.
Well, we do.
Yeah, but we don't have any, like, new ones that we worship now in any religion or anything, do we?
I don't even know if these ones were so much worship.
No, but they were. That's why we call them gods.
I think they were gods
in different religions and cultures, you worship gods for different things. But why do we never get any new ones?
Because their gods are immortal.
Yeah, but they make new ones. That's where Hercules came from.
If you're a fan of mythology and you have an answer to this, please help out.
Tell me what you think, because
I actually don't know the answer to that one.
I don't know, it just come to my mind. I was like, there's so many different people that we all worship or think about from the past, but we never get any new ones.
No.
And where are they now?
Imagine they're encased in the stars.
But they haven't always been.
No. They help create
the world. So why
are
they now?
I don't know.
Why don't they ever pop down here and sort us out sometimes, like in the movies?
So at some point, nearer the end of all this, there might be an exclamation.
An exclamation.
An explanation for that.
Ah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. Heracles would lose the ability to think clearly. And, fearing the enemy had returned to kill his family, he would grab Megara and slam her against a wall. And he would then crush her to death with his mighty strength.
Blimey.
He would then see his children as the same.
No.
And would repeat the same act on some of them. With the others, he would throw them like a baseball into fire, burning them alive until their death.
What the bloody hell's going on?
Hera has infected his mind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he just thinks that his family are literal enemies to him. And they've come to kill him and his family.
So awful. Okay, I understand a woman scorned and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But my God, that's just cruel.
Very cruel.
How is it his wife and children's fault?
It's not.
Or even his fault?
No, it's not. But she loved Zeus, so therefore she wouldn't take it out on Zeus. He is a
She
bastard
needs
child.
to. He's a prick.
Yeah, she should, but
He did it all.
There is a strange twist to this at the end, actually, as well. Heracles had brutally killed the woman whose city he saved and came to love, and the family that they had built. Megara was not just a damsel in distress. She was the bride of politics, a mother, a casualty of divine jealousy, and a woman who was killed so that a hero could begin the arc of his redemption.
That's deep.
Yeah. In the aftermath, Heracles would come to and regain his consciousness. The blood and the bodies more than broke him. He was destroyed and felt as if his own death was the only way out of his pain.
Oh.
But rather than take his own life, Heracles would seek the advice of Delphi.
So he went to therapy.
Sort of.
Instead of offing himself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
Which
good way to
is
look
good
at
advice,
it. Yeah, he went
guys.
to therapy.
Good advice.
Yep. For those less than familiar with Greek mythology, Delphi is considered the center of the earth and is located on Mount Parnassus. This place served as the throne to the oracle of Delphi, a high priestess who served as the messenger of Apollo. In order to repent, Hercules would be given 12 tasks, well actually 10 tasks, to atone for the slaughter of his family. Why I say 10, we'll get there. These would be known as the 12 labors of Heracles that were set by King Eurystheus. Eurystheus was the cousin of Heracles, the grandson of Perseus, king of the Tyrans, Mycenae, one of the three, placed on the throne by Hera in order to ensure that Heracles finished the tasks. Now, although not directly involved, Hera would be sure to make the tasks set to be more than what they should have been, strategically attempting to sabotage Heracles in hopes he would fail. In the Disney film, Hercules is tasked to do these 12 labors in order to become a hero and prove himself worthy of being a god. These were far more than just slaying beasts while on an adventure to find himself. These were brutal, humiliating, and often grotesque tasks.
Oh.
And here they are.
Oh, you got the tasks.
Task 1. The Nemean Lion. It's likely we've all seen the image of Heracles wearing the skin of a lion and the lion's head like a crazy-ass looking hoodie. Well, this was actually his first task of the 12. The village of Nemea in Greece was under constant fear and attack by a monstrous lion who could not be killed, or even maimed by mortal weapons. It was Heracles that was sent in to handle the lion, and he did exactly that. Heracles would lure the lion into a cave where he would trap it, and with his mighty strength, he would strangle the lion with his bare hands.
Blimey.
To prove he completed the task, he would skin the lion with its own claw and wear its pelt as armor. This is probably the most iconic symbolism of Heracles.
Oh, wow.
It's like in like a pottery and even some of the old Greek Colosseums, that is the image of Heracles.
Yeah. I think I've seen the image a few times.
I think in Disney, didn't they have him wear Scar?
Scar?
Mm-hmm. The lion?
They might have done. I don't know that it was Scar, though. I think it was just a lion.
I think it was Scar.
It might have been. It probably makes sense that Disney would have done that.
Because Disney always adds little Easter eggs in their films.
Yeah.
From their other films. Task 2. The Lernaean Hydra. Hydra is a name most commonly known to many people as a terrorist organization of the MCU led by Red Skull. Hail Hydra. As the saying goes, cut off the head of one snake, 2 more shall take its place. This is a direct reference to the Hydra that Heracles would fight, defeat, and have the task marked as invalid as his labors. Hydra was a giant serpent with multiple heads located in Lernae, which is near modern-day Mili in Greece. Just like the saying, every time Heracles chopped off one head, 2 more would grow back. I think it was like a 3-headed snake or 4-headed snake, wasn't it, in the film? Yeah.
I don't remember if its heads grew back.
Not sure, but in the actual Greek mythology, they grow back.
Yeah.
It was almost impossible for Heracles to do this alone, so Heracles summoned the help of his nephew, Lolas. It was also during this fight that Hera threw in a curveball for Heracles and sent a giant crab to attack him during his battle with Hydra.
Hadn't she done enough?
No, she wanted him to die. With help, Heracles would burn the stumps of the severed head so that no more could grow back. When he finally reached the last head, which was immortal, he chopped it off and buried it underneath a boulder. He then dipped his arrows in the snake's blood, coating them in its lethal venom. But because he asked for the help of his nephew, Eurystheus would not allow this task to go fulfilled.
Seriously?
This is the thing, he has
He
to
had
do
to
it
do
on
it
his
all
own.
on his own.
Yep. Task 3. The Cernian Hind. In yet another Greek civilization lay the city of Cernia. And within this civilization was a deer, but not just any deer. This deer was sacred, and on top of that, had skin of pure gold.
Ooh.
Forget a white stag, got a gold stag. Not only that, this deer belonged to a special goddess, Artemis, the Greek goddess of the wilderness, childbirth, and virginity. She is not only a goddess either, she is also the half-sister of Heracles, the daughter of Zeus.
They're all
and Leto.
related, aren't they?
Yeah. The daughter of Zeus and Leto, and is the twin sister of Apollo.
So is Zeus's child with another person again? Zeus, what have you done?
You tyrant. I was
Literally.
going to say something else, but I don't remember what I was going to say. Anyway, and it was Heracles' task to capture the deer alive. This could have gone way south for Heracles if he was tasked to kill it. So luckily, that wasn't the case. This deer was incredibly fast, and as legend goes, could not be harmed. Heracles would chase this deer for over a year until until finally capturing it and completing his third task. Technically.
So
second.
he was at this for a long time. I mean, maybe.
Oh, for a good long time.
Maybe this was what helped him get over what he did, though. It distracted him long enough.
Well, he felt he
gave
needed
him
to
some
do
purpose, sort of thing.
Yeah, but also he felt, I mean, he was told he needed to do it, to repent.
Yeah, but it might have just been good for him.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely let out a lot of anger.
Yeah.
So, task 4. The Armenthian Boar. This is yet another nerd classic. If you've ever played the game Assassin's Creed, you would have eventually had to fight this legendary boss in Odyssey. Legend has it that this giant wild beast ravaged the hillside farms of Mount Hermonthos in Arcadia, which is a mountain range in, you guessed it, Greece. Heracles was yet again tasked to capture the beast alive, and as before, he did exactly that. This time he would bring the boar to Eurystheus, and when he saw what exactly the beast was in person, Eurystheus became a little bitch and ran and hid. I'm not sure what this means, but from what I read, and every part of that was he ran and hid in a jar.
A jar?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Wasn't there a part of the film where someone gets put in a jar?
The little guys, I thought.
Maybe that was a reference to that.
Maybe, but I don't...
But I don't know if that means an actual jar.
Yeah, I don't know.
A jar could also be like a little gap, couldn't it? Like you leave the door ajar.
No, it was literally a jar, not a jar.
Yeah, you say it though, a jar, I think.
No, a jar. To leave something open. I don't know.
I don't know, he must have got in a friggin' jar, alright?
I don't know. If you know, let us know. Task 5. The Stymphalian birds. These birds were not your average flock. These were massive, carnivorous, man-eating monsters that had bronze arrow-shooting feathers and poisonous...
Arrow-shooting feathers.
Yeah. So they could, like, flap a wing like that, and then their feathers would just fly out, and their...
That's awesome.
They also had poisonous dung that terrorized the lake region of Arcadia called Stymphalis.
Poisonous shit.
Yes. However, defeating these birds was, well, in simpler terms, easy as fuck. Athena had given Heracles a magic rattle, and along with his poison arrows, that he only used a couple of times, by the way, he scared the birds away and they never returned. He literally shook a fucking rattle.
What was so crazy about the rattle?
I don't know, but I do go on a rant. I need to get this. I truly hope there is more to this, but that is all I found. So you're telling me we got a flock of fucking Skarmories from Pokemon Gen 2 in Greek mythology and they get scared away by a fucking child's toy? Seriously? We need to do better. Do better, Greek mythology.
I don't think you can change it, mate. That's what it is. It is what it is.
That is just...
But what was so special about the...
It was just a rattle. And he was able to scare him away.
No, but
it's like walking up to a fucking flock of pigeons and going... And then they...
They probably would. But did you not say that someone gave him the rattle?
Athena did.
So that's cheating again, isn't it? Did they not tell him
that Athena didn't help him. She gave him a tool. He's allowed to use tools. She didn't actually help him.
The lines are blurry on the rules of this.
A little bit. There's a gray area. There's also apparently a gray area in Greek mythology where fucking man-eating birds that have bronze feathers that can be used as arrows can get
Just because
scared.
they've got cool stuff and look hard on the outside does not mean that they're actually that brave. They're still birds. Birds spook easily.
On. Task 6. The cattle of Augeas. Well, we have reached full humiliation on this one. The shittiest one thus far.
Oh dear.
And I do mean that in the literal sense.
Oh.
King Augeas owned enormous herds of cattle that for some odd reason he kept in a stable. Potentially to protect them. Potentially to protect them from giant man-eating fucking birds made of bronze, but also not likely because they'd just fucking moo and scare them off. Back to the cattle. Heracles was tasked to clean the stables of this cow shit. But, being the smart and quite literal god he was, instead of scraping the poo away, he would redirect 2 rivers to wash the shit away.
True god style. I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah, and hey, while he was at it, he asked the king for payment. You are literally atoning for the straight up slaughter of your wife and kids, bro. So yeah.
Why did he ask for payment for that one?
Because it was humiliating.
Well, not really. He didn't even clean up the shit, did he? He just redirected rivers.
He is a god capable of scaring away man-eating fucking birds with bronze feathers as arrows.
Okay. We're not letting that go,
with a rattle.
We need to move on from the birds.
This task was also rejected by Euripides, who I, for one, agree with on this one. Good call. Task 7, the Cretan Bull. For this task, Heracles would have to stop a rampaging bull that was destroying the city of Crete. He scared that one away with a rattle as well. Just kidding. Although he did not kill the bull, he did probably the most badass thing ever. He took the bull by the horns. Literally. The Cretan bull...
Is that where the saying comes from?
Probably. The Cretan bull was more than just some mad bull. It was a magnificent, divinely sent white bull that Poseidon caused to go crazy, ravaging Crete after King Minos refused to sacrifice it.
What's Poseidon doing out the sea?
Maybe he sent it from the sea. It's a magical bull. Heracles would wrestle the bull into submission and then drag it back to Euripides, where he would release the bull to roam freely. Funny enough, this bull would come back later on in Greek mythology as the very same bull slain by Theseus. Story for another day. Task 8. The Mares of Diomedes. Back to the bloodshed. The mares, as all animals before it thus far, confronted by Heracles, were obviously not your average run-of-the-mill horses. In fact, these were 4 man-eating, fire-breathing, limousine-riding, jet-flying, alligator-boot-wearing sons of guns! Woo! Sorry. Had to do it. Joking. But they were man-eating and the fire-breathing horses owned by the Thracian king Diomedes, the son of Ares.
You made me jump a little.
Heracles would capture these ferocious bronze chained mares and then calm them before taking them back to Eurystheus. How did he calm them, you ask? Well, I assume he was not fond of King Diomedes, because he would not only kill the king after capturing his horses, he would then rip him apart and feed his corpse to his own mares.
Wow, he didn't like him at all, huh?
No. Diomedes was known to be a very cruel leader, often feeding his visitors to the horses. So it goes without saying.
Oh, so it's karma, really?
Yeah, he deserved it. And yes.
Karma is a bitch.
Yep, it worked. the mares became calm, and Heracles was able to walk them to Euripides and set them free to roam Mount Olympus.
Oh, so you got human eating horses.
No, they're
Out and
fine
about.
now. They're okay.
Are they? Are people? Probably not.
Well,
Probably
they
got
their
eaten.
owner. Task 9. The Belt of Hippolyta. For this task, Heracles would be sent to retrieve the belt of Queen Hippolyta, the queen of the Amazon. At first, the queen was struck by pure admiration of Heracles, so she would insist on giving him the belt. But Hera would step in and be sure to make this task more difficult than it should have been.
Just give it a rest, love.
Hera would disguise herself and spread rumors that Heracles intended to kidnap the queen. It is said that a battle broke out against Heracles and the Amazons, and amidst the chaos, he would kill Hippolyta, thus taking the belt.
So she's just got someone else killed as well.
Yeah. Task 10. The Cattle of Geryon. For this task, Heracles would have to travel to the edge of the known world to steal the cattle of the giant Geryon. This area today is known as Gibraltar, and there is a plaque at this location called the 12 Pillars of Hercules. And this guy has seen it in person.
Have you actually?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. When did you go to Gibraltar?
In 2019. Then I stepped foot into Spain for a bit. This was also the site of one of Heracles' most toughest bouts yet. In order to steal the cattle, Heracles would have to fight 2 people and 1 beast. Well, it was more like 6 in total. He would not only have to fight the owner of the cattle, Geryon, who was a literal 3-bodied giant, but also Orthus, Geryon's massive 2-headed dog.
Ooh.
The fight was on. Heracles was outnumbered and outpowered, but through it all he persevered with his strength and keen mind for battle strategy. Heracles would first encounter Orthus as he attempted to flank the cattle and herd them away. The beastly dog was quickly at Heracles' side, and with one swing of his mighty club, Heracles would render Orthus unconscious. And with this, he would deliver several fatal blows to the beast until he successfully killed it.
Not the dog.
It was a man-eating dog. I know bad dogs aren't born, they're made,
It's
but
not
still.
the dog, it's the owner.
Exactly.
Always.
Overhearing this all, Geryon would come to find Heracles trying to sneak the cattle away. And with that, Heracles was in round 2 of the fight for the cattle. However, Geryon was not necessarily alone. Not for the fact that he was a 3-bodied giant, but who other than that bitch Hera would also enter the picture.
Why can't she just leave off?
Because she wants him to fail. Hera would help...
She not have anything else to do?
No. She's a goddess, so no. Hera would help Geryon through divine magic, gifting Geryon with more power and strength. But she forgot to do one thing. Hide herself. Heracles would spot Hera just as he was on his last few ounces of strength. As Geryon held Heracles by the neck, choking him, Heracles would manage to free himself and upon landing, reach for his bow and arrow and quickly get off a shot at Hera. This arrow, although not fatal for the goddess, would injure her severely and cause her to retreat back to Greece. Heracles, bloody and beaten, grasping for his last breath, would then manage to get one more shot off with his bow and arrow, this time striking Geryon with one of the poison arrows he had made after fighting Hydra. This would enter Geryon's body, dropping him to the ground, allowing Heracles to deliver a fatal blow to Geryon, thus killing the 3-bodied giant. Heracles would then have to herd all the cattle back from Erythia back to Greece. In the present day, that would mean walking a whole ass herd of cattle from the Strait of Gibraltar, which is the tip of Spain, all the way back to Greece.
Wow, that's a long old way.
Long way. Upon his delivery of the cattle to King Euripides, the king would sacrifice each of the cattle. I, for one, would be fucking pissed.
Yeah. What a waste of his time.
Mm-hmm.
Why did he kill them all?
It doesn't actually say.
So what happens with the stepmother now? He knows now that she's against him. Has he always known?
No, but I mean, there's nothing he
I
can
mean,
do
he
about
must have known immediately because he shot the arrow at her.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything he can do about it. He still has to finish these tasks, and the king has to dub them as complete.
Yeah.
Now, before we continue, Heracles was never meant to do 12 tasks, as I said earlier. Originally, Euripides had only assigned him 10 tasks, according to Greek mythology. But because he was told that 2 of the tasks were retracted, for Heracles having been assisted, 2 more were added. Task 11. The Apples of the Hesperides. During this task, the true power of the gods would be etched into mythological history. The Hesperides are the nymphs of the evening.
The nymphs, eh?
The nymphs. Or otherwise known to many as either the daughters of the evening or the nymphs of the west. They were the daughters of the Titan Atlas. For anyone unfamiliar with Greek mythology, Atlas once led a war against the Olympian gods called the Titanomachy, which was a 10-year cataclysmic war between the Titans and gods for full cosmic control. Needless to say, the Titans did not win. As punishment for this act, Zeus would force Atlas to walk to the edge of the western world and bear the immense weight of the heavens for all of eternity.
Ooh.
This is important to remember because Heracles would use this to his advantage. Heracles would trick Atlas into retrieving the apples for him from the heavens, which, for those wondering, were not regular apples. I mean, by now, you should have figured out that nothing in this tale is normal.
No.
These were golden apples, but not the golden type we have today. No, these apples also held a special gift. The gift to grant immortality. The apples were closely guarded by the Hesperides, and Ladon, a dragon, also sent to guard the apples. How did Heracles convince Atlas to do this? He simply said that he would bear the weight of the heavens for him briefly so he could have a rest and to retrieve the apples. When Atlas returned, he tried to trick Heracles into holding the heavens a bit longer while he would deliver the apples for Heracles. A simple trick not gone over our hero's head. Heracles then tricked him back by agreeing to hold the heavens, but he just needed to adjust himself first so he would be more comfortable. Atlas took his position, and Heracles escaped with the apples. Good job.
What a dummy.
Let me just hold that. Look, I'll hold it. You mind just let me get
Just need to adjust
Just hold it really
myself.
quick, though. Stupid. Task 12. Cerberus. The final task, the most brutal of them all, as well as the most dangerous for Heracles. For anyone unaware of who Cerberus is, play a video game, read a book, watch a movie based on fantasy, and I promise you a good 6 out of 10 times Cerberus can be referenced at any point. For quick reference, movies such as Harry Potter, even to kids shows such as My Little Pony. No shots fired.
Really?
Yeah, no shots fired to the bronies out there. Video games such as Final Fantasy to even Marvel Comics have referenced the beast that is Cerberus. You have undoubtedly heard this name before, whether it be the Hounds of Hades, the Dogs of the Underworld, the Hellhounds, Fluffy from Harry Potter, or even Spot. Apparently, this name was given to the hounds by Hades himself. Either way you name him, Cerberus is the iconic 3-headed dog of not only Greek mythology, but mythology world known. It would be tasked to Heracles to descend into the underworld, fight Cerberus, and bring him back to Eurystheus alive. And on top of this, he would have to do this with absolutely no help and no weapons. He was to use only his bare hands.
That's a bit unfair, isn't it?
Yes. This was to be an impossible task set for Heracles in hopes that he would not return to the mortal world, and that he would in fact be killed in the act.
Why did he want him to be killed?
Because neither Eurystheus or Hera want him to pass these tasks.
For God's sake.
Heracles saw an opportunity rather than a suicide mission. You see, Heracles was smart, and Eurystheus said no weapons, not anything against protection. So, using the lion's pelt from the first task, Heracles would shield himself from the three-headed beast's bites, which he allowed to happen. The fight, although fairly brief, was still indeed very bloody. You see, Cerberus also had a serpent as its tail, and occasionally the serpent would get some good strikes in.
Oh my gosh.
But through the blood and pain, Heracles would find the strength to position Cerberus perfectly in order to get all three heads of the dog in a headlock, or heads lock. He would then use that mighty strength to submit him, and he would then drag the beast back to the surface of the mortal world and present Cerberus to Eurystheus alive, just as he was meant to. The tasks were finally complete, and our hero could rest. Yay! But we're not done. None of these tasks were complete without consequence. From the poison arrows, the deaths of allies, the suffering of immortals, and far more things I haven't even touched on because we could severely go off track. Heracles' victories often left scars behind, and it's here that ancient audiences understood something Disney never could portray. Heroes can save the world and also leave a trail of complete devastation, which in fairness we do see in MCU all the time.
Collateral damage.
Now obviously we may never know what is true and what isn't. After all, this is mythology at its finest. But who is to say that there isn't any truth behind it at all? Perhaps not in the sense that one might think, though. Ready for a history lesson? Well, in 129 BC, an ancient Greek astronomer named Hipparchus of Nicaea made the first clear and understandable mapping of the stars. A few years later, in 150 BC, Ptolemy, another ancient Greek astronomer, would find shapes in these mappings, and thus constellations were born. Not only this, but these constellations to this day tell many, many stories. Heracles is one of those stories. Heracles represents the sun moving across the sky, conquering darkness and monsters that correspond to constellations. Here's the representations. Leo, the Nemean lion. Cancer, the giant crab Hera sent during the Lernaean Hydra. Taurus, the Cretan bull.
Wow.
Sagittarius.
Small one.
Yep. During his labors, Heracles would have a bit of a side quest battle with a group of centaurs, during which a stray arrow that was dipped in Hydra's blood would accidentally strike Heracles' teacher, Chiron, who was the immortal teacher of heroes. Although he couldn't die, the arrow struck him, and he would suffer with agonizing pain for years until he finally asked for his immortality to be taken away so that he could die as the pain was becoming too much for him.
Oh no! Oh, that's really sad, isn't it? Oh, just can't get a break, can he?
No. Poor Heracles. And lastly, the best zodiac of them all, Scorpio.
No, you just said the best one.
All right,
but
anyways,
carry on.
We'll just agree to disagree. Who represents Heracles and Cerberus? In astrology, Scorpius is associated with death, transformation, and the underworld. But how does the sun represent Heracles? Well, a powerful hero travels across the world battling monsters. So the sun travels through all those constellations.
The stars are showing.
That's like a map of Heracles' journey.
So they're stating that all these constellations are his story.
Not necessarily. They are saying that the story of the constellation could reflect that of Heracles' journey. But he is the sun, and then the constellations actually mark his labors.
That's cool.
Yeah. They think that's where it came from. Some scholars think these are allegories for the sun moving through the sky in seasons. In this interpretation, Heracles equals the sun, monsters equal constellations or seasonal dangers, labors equal stages of the year. The hero conquers the sky just as the sun does every year. Now, another question we can ask, was Heracles ever a real person? Well, the short answer is, we don't know for certain.
He was definitely real.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, no one can prove it definitively. But
I can.
there are several clues that make scholars think the myth may have grown from a real warrior whose story expanded over time. In ancient Greece, mythical characters were usually worshipped as gods or simply told in stories, but Heracles had something different. He had hero cults. Across Greece, especially in places like Thebes, people worshipped him at shrines believed to mark real events in his life. These shrines were treated like the graves of historical heroes. Ancient Greeks often built these cults around real warriors or kings whose deeds became exaggerated over generations. So, the presence of these shrines suggests people believed Heracles had once lived among them.
Yeah, I think it does happen, doesn't it? Stories get retold and people add bits and make it seem more exciting and whatnot, don't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely could have happened.
Yeah, it definitely could have happened. The Bronze-Aged Warrior Theory. Some historians believe the legend could trace back to the Mycenaean period, around 1600 to 1100 BC. This was the era of fortified palaces, warrior kings, and brutal regional wars. Heracles is often described wearing lion skin armor, a massive club, having simple heroic weapons. These details match the type of gear used by early Bronze Age fighters. Some scholars think the original story might have been about a warrior who traveled across Greece defeating rival rulers. Over time, these rulers turned into monsters in the retelling. Enemy king becomes a giant, dangerous animal becomes a mythical beast. But not only this, his travels are actually somewhat realistic even to the period. The labors send Hercules all over the ancient world: Greece, Crete, Thrace, Libya, and Spain. These were real trade and travel routes used by Mycenaean sailors and warriors. Some historians think the myth could preserve the memory of a roaming champion or mercenary who traveled widely. Each region added a local legend about him. Eventually, those stories merged into one giant saga. Also, multiple royal families claimed to descend from Heracles. These rulers were called the Heraclid. In ancient politics, claiming descent from the legendary hero helped legitimize the power.
But there's no way to disprove that, really, is there? If it's like God knows how many years later.
Yeah, no.
So they're just doing a claim to fame, really.
Yeah, because you can't go back and extract DNA. So even when it doesn't matter, but yeah, there's no way to prove it in this time.
It's a big claim. It's a big claim.
Yeah, but it also suggests the figure was once believed to be an actual founding ancestor, not purely myth. And lastly, some modern scholars interpret the myth as the story of a traumatized warrior. Think about the pieces. You got extreme strength, violent temper, bouts of madness, guilt over killing loved ones, endless quests for redemption. Those traits resemble the psychological scars of someone who lived in a brutal warrior culture.
PTSD.
In that lens, Heracles becomes less a god and more a broken soldier trying to atone. So
even if he was a god and he was trying to atone for his sins of his family, like, it's still really horrible, isn't it? It's not. He's still suffering, isn't he? He's still trying to repent.
Yeah. So, what if Heracles wasn't just a myth? What if someone in ancient Greece, thousands of years ago, a real warrior, lived a life so violent and legendary that history slowly turned him into a god? Even crazier to think this could all be real as this. What if this legend was actually an entire battle strategy by the ancient Greek rulers to conquer what is today most of Europe? Some historians suggest the labors of Heracles may have functioned as mythic propaganda. Not propaganda in the modern sense of posters and slogans, but stories that subtly justified Greek expansion, trade routes, and political influence. The theory is that later Greek storytellers projected Heracles across the known world to say something powerful, like, our hero has been here, thus our influence belongs here.
Yeah, so trying to get people to come there.
Yep. So, what if the 12 Labors weren't just stories about monsters, but a map of how Greek civilization imagined conquering the world?
Yeah.
Hello. And it is with this that we leave you to wonder for yourself. Could Heracles have truly been more than just a mythological legend demigod? He was without a doubt so much more than the Disney animation we grew up with. And, as something I always love to believe, every story comes from somewhere true.
Yeah, there's some truth in every story, isn't there? I would like to believe that he was a god.
I didn't write about it, I guess. I thought I did. But after all his labors, he died.
So how did he just die?
Here we go. Heracles died a slow, agonizing death caused by a poisoned shirt given to him by his wife, Deianira, who was deceived by the centaur Nisus. The shirt was soaked.
The bloody hell!
The shirt was soaked in hydra venom, causing Heracles' flesh to burn and tear when he wore it. To end the pain, he built a funeral pyre and burned his mortal body. Oh, so he was mortal. Allowing him to ascend to Olympus as a god.
What the fuck? What a crap ending.
Yeah.
He's right been through it, isn't he? So he must have got remarried, though, in between there, because he said his wife...
He got remarried after all the tasks.
But...
Here's the crazier part. So, I haven't wrote it, but I know about it. When he got back to Olympus, he was greeted, and he became a god. He was greeted by his father and Hera, and they made up.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
They didn't.
They did. They made up, and he forgave her. And then he went on to live a life with Meg, I think.
Why did he forgive her?
Because his life on Earth was done, so what could he do?
So when he died, he went back
to Olympus,
there and forgave her.
Yeah. It's a twisted little ending.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess it's good that they lived happily ever after death.
Yeah, in the sense, I guess.
Why did his wife put a poisoned shirt on him?
It was a trick.
Ah. Well, that makes more sense. Everything seems to be a bloody trick in this story.
While traveling with his wife, Deianira, Heracles killed a centaur, Nessus, with a poison arrow coated in hydra blood for attempting to abduct his wife. Or, well, at least Deianira. As he lay dying, Nessus tricked Deianira, telling her that his blood could act as a love potion to ensure Heracles would never fall for another woman. Years later, fearing Heracles had fallen in love with another woman, Deianira coated a shirt in the centaur's blood and gave it to him. Oh. When Heracles put on the shirt, the poison caused his flesh to burn and melt. The tunic stuck to him, and he could not remove it without ripping off his own skin.
Oh.
Yeah. In unbearable agony, Heracles built a funeral pyre on Mount Oida to end his life. While his mortal body was consumed by fire, his immortal side was taken to Mount Olympus by Zeus to live among the gods, where he finally reconciled with Hera.
So she hated him so much and tried to kill him for like his whole life, but once he died, she was okay with it, with him.
I mean, I guess really.
And then she has to actually live with him.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
So that's probably why they reconciled, because they realized that now they have to live with each other. So we can either live for the rest of eternity hating each other, or we'll just get on with it.
I don't think I could forgive her.
Well.
I mean, maybe he didn't know the full extent of what she did.
No, he definitely did.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think he definitely did.
I don't know. Oh well.
Anyway. So with that all, we conclude our first part of our epic series, Dark Disney. We hope that you like it.
I liked it. It was good.
Yeah? I'm glad you liked it, because I hyped it up, and I was a bit afraid that I was going to let you down.
No, it was really good. It's interesting as well. So much more to the story, isn't there?
Yeah.
I still do love the Disney version.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favourites.
Yeah, it's my favourite Disney film.
But no, it's interesting. Yeah. Poor sod. I like Hercules as well.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that he lives such a more brutal life.
Yeah.
So, with that, babe, I want to thank everyone for listening to another episode of Vividly Dark. We hope you enjoyed this as much as we did, or at least I did. And we look forward to another episode of Dark Disney in the future.
I can't wait to hear about some more.
I know.
This was a really good start, but I'm so excited for what else is going to come, because I know little bits of stories about some stuff.
Yeah.
But it'll be really interesting to know what's actually real.
Yeah. So I do have the next one planned. I haven't started writing it yet.
What's the next one going to be? Are you allowed to say?
We'll hint towards it.
I'm not good with hints.
Next time we cover something even more magical that Disney brightens up. For this one, we take a deep dive into one, if not the most iconic Disney princess of them all. Stay tuned to find out, everyone, and we shall see you all again.
There's many. We don't know.
Just bear with that hint, people.
The most iconic one is whoever us people growing up with them have decided is the most iconic. Isn't it? Everybody has a different opinion of which one's the best.
Well, a lot of people could say Elsa is the best, but we didn't grow up with Elsa.
No. She's very magical.
Stay tuned. Oh, wait, I've already read that. Also, be sure to follow us on our socials. We are on TikTok and Instagram.
Can't believe you're going to make us wait.
Vividly Dark Pod. And also on YouTube with the same
Very
name.
selfish.
So if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe.
For more disappointment, because he doesn't tell us anything.
Yeah, and if you want to talk to us or give us a story for Zoe to share so you can cheer her ass up, email us your thoughts and opinions and also your stories, because we want to hear them all, to vividlydarkpod@gmail.com. Again, that is vividlydarkpod@gmail.com. Do you have anything?
I don't have anything. Just a bit of disappointment, because I'd really like to know who the next one is. But yeah, send me some stories to cheer me up, because that'd be fun.
Yeah, so I think with that, babe, we are going to sign off.
Yep. Thank you very much for listening, guys.
So goodbye.
Bye.